Welcome back to the Deep Dig Sports Pod. I'm your host, Drew. My other host, right over there.
What's up? It's D. Good to see you again. Be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. Drop some comments below. Let us know your thoughts.
We are fresh off of Monday Night Football, the double header. Make sure you have two screens in the living room because there's two games on at the same exact time during prime time. Which game did you watch? Because I watched the Bears, and I was trying to illegally stream the other game on my laptop.
I like how they did. I watched also the Bears. I thought that was the more interesting game. If I'm going to be completely honest, I have no interest in watching the Las Vegas Raiders embarrass themselves the rest of the season. I'm good off that. I do like how they have the ticker at the top. Like that is something that all like every single if you have more than one game going on, you should always have a ticker. That's something that pisses me off with broadcast. Fox especially does that. It's kind of bullshit.
All right, well, let's talk the Bears because Caleb Williams was awful in this game. I felt like the game plan was terrible. Caleb was not seeing wide open receivers all day. He's overthrowing. He's sending fastballs when he should be lobbing passes. It was it was pretty awful.
No, it was jarring. Honestly, it was very jarring to see how bad Caleb Williams has gotten. Like, I feel like there were certain games where it was like, okay, like I see the talent, I understand where he's going. This game, it just felt like there was nothing working for him. It felt like he wasn't seeing wide open guys. When he was seeing them, he was throwing like crazy throws that were nowhere in the stratosphere. The one that I was talking to you about off camera or off podcast, like was when on the first scoring drive that they had, they run like a wheel route and the receiver gets wide open and Caleb Williams just sails it by a mile. Like, and the receiver is looking around like, what is going on? And that was just the epitome of what Caleb Williams has been. Like, they've schemed it up, like they've got it perfect. Like, all you need to do is execute, and he just hasn't been executing. It's been crazy. And the excuses are just they keep coming. Oh, well, look at how bad the team was. But all this offseason, we had to hear like how this was the best situation that a number one pick has ever been in. They've had it all these weapons. They have the O line. Their defense is great. Where's all that? Where's that on now?
And I also feel like the Romo Odunze pick was a wrong pick. Like maybe he's gonna be good else. Like he could have been better elsewhere, or he's gonna still have a solid career. But they needed to go offensive line there or something else other than I mean, look at Justin Herbert with the Chargers. They went Joe Alt and they're playing I mean, they got blown out by the Bucks, but they're winning more games and Justin Herbert's looking better. And they ended up getting Lad McConkey later in the draft. So I don't know. I think it definitely was a reach to go Roma Dunze there. Kind of a luxury pick when you were in a spot to take luxury picks.
Yeah, you should have been building in the trenches. I think that's what we've seen successful teams do. And if we're going to be completely honest, yeah, like the Chargers got blown out, but like you feel better about the Chargers moving forward because they've built in the trenches. You understand what their bread and butter is going to be moving forward. They're trying to take the load off of Justin Herbert, whereas like with the Chicago Bears, it feels like they just added more pressure towards Caleb Williams. Like, well, we've got you all these receivers. Go out and make it happen. And it's like, okay, but
I
like
think
I'm a rookie. I'm seeing all of these defenses for the first time. I, you know, yeah, he had success in college. They retired his jersey at USC. He wasn't all that great in college. Like there was flaws in college. Really, he just got drafted because of the potential that you've seen in him.
yeah, I compared this. I don't know if I said this on the pod before, but I compared it to when all the NBA scouts agree that the number one pick is going to be this kid who is like a sophomore in high school and then he doesn't even like really play in college, but he's still the number one pick in the NBA draft like a year later. And so I think everyone determined like, listen, he's shown so many flashes. We just came off of like the craziest Mahomes hype, and we're looking for the next Mahomes. And we have this guy who does a lot of, he gets out of the pocket, he improvises, he has some highlights, some flash to him, and we see the throws that he can make. But I mean, we're seeing that he's just not comfortable in a pocket. He's holding onto the ball. He's not seeing the field at all. And I think right now, most of all, like his confidence is shot. And like kind of how we saw Bryce Young earlier in this year, like he's just not there mentally. And I don't know if he's going to be able to get it back because he was such a confident guy coming in, and that I feel like played into a lot of his game. And in the offseason, it's like the jury's out on Ryan Poles right now. I think people are split on him of, okay, he's done good moves, but he's also made some bad moves. Are we going to keep him? If we keep him, it's a huge task to hire a new coach, put in a new system, and put the team around Caleb Williams to, shine in this next year because you have Jaden Daniels looking really good, Bo Nix is looking good, Drake May's looking good, and then we haven't seen JJ McCarthy. Maybe he turns into something. Like it's gonna be a lot to if next year Caleb Williams is still playing like the fourth or fifth best quarterback in this draft.
Yeah, and there were rumblings during this draft process, and I think me and you both thought like, okay, like this obviously has to be coming from Jaden Daniels' team, but there were like Jaden Daniels truthers saying like 100% it should be him. He should be the guy. Yeah, it was an explosive season, but we're seeing what he can do like testing. We're having conversations with him. He's high level. We understand what we have. We think that he can be a guy in this league, and people were like pushing he should be the number one pick, and everyone was like, yeah, whatever. And we're seeing now, like there was some truth to it. And even with the Drake May, like Drake May is out there balling. He has literally nothing around him, and he's elevating the team. Yeah, they're still losing, but I mean, when you don't have any pieces, you kind of just do
You
what you
feel
do.
hope like with Drake May and like Bonet, like you feel hope. You feel the okay, we could be something. And with Caleb Williams, like you see it towards the end of the game where he got that play where he kind of broke out and he's trying to find something, throws a pass to the end zone to Keenan Allen and takes a shot. He goes on the sideline, he just flops onto the bench and he's kind of flopping around there like, yeah, I'm taking a beating. And he looks defeated. He's not really. I think I saw once on the sideline, he's like trying to talk to Roma Dunze, trying to figure things out. But for the most part, he just goes and sits back on the bench and he's just like, yeah, he's just shaking his head like, yeah, it's not going well.
Well, and that's another thing that's like weird. Maybe they shouldn't have got Roma Dunze. I don't know if you remember very early on, I think it was like week 2 or 3 when Rome's dad is out there with the all 22 showing that, oh, Caleb missed him here. He missed him here. He missed him here. And then you have your backup quarterback's dad, Tyson Bagent's dad, over there talking shit, saying that, oh, yeah, they wanted Tyson to be the guy. They want him to be it moving forward. You have DJ Moore that like, like moping around and doing all these things. Like, it feels like a hostile locker room for Caleb Williams.
Yeah, and I think it's a little telling that there's not a lot of guys really in that locker room that come to the fence of Caleb. And I mean, it questions his leadership a little bit. I mean, I'm not in there, but you are like there is a lot of red flags going on in that locker room outside of Caleb. And DJ Moore, if you just look at this, what they did in this game specifically too, they're not throwing to DJ Moore other than screens.
Yeah.
Like, what is this like? This is like the game plan when Brock Purdy didn't have an arm. Like they're literally like this is Trey Lance over here. Like they cannot throw downfield. They are literally just throwing screens to their best receiver. He has to hate it there. I think he requested a trade after the season because we can't throw a go ball or a in route or anything else other than a screen to DJ Moore.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, again, that's very elementary. And I understand what they're trying to do. It's very much like, hey, this is our best player. We got to get him the ball any way that we can. But you got to be able to scheme it up a little bit better than that, just a straight up screen. And I think a lot of fans were very excited when they moved Thomas Brown into the interim head coach. They're like, oh, we should somehow we should be able to keep him to be the offensive coordinator. I think it's fine if we move away from that. I think it's fine to go ahead and just move off this guy.
Yeah, I really don't. I mean, again, I see the reports for Ben Johnson come up that he's like really, if he doesn't see the perfect organizational fit, he's not coming to that team. And I don't know if he's gonna, take this Bears job. That would be the guy that I think could potentially turn this around. And if they give him the keys to the car, he could be the next Dan Campbell and like really flip things. But other than that, I don't see who comes in here and fixes all these problems.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very, very tough go of it for this franchise. They're gonna have to do they're gonna have to do a combo. I think they are gonna have to get rid of Ryan Poles because whoever they're gonna have to bring in is gonna have to completely shift the culture, and you can't do that with a guy who is attached to the majority of this roster like Ryan Poles will be.